You know, looking at Monty's character this season, when you had a reunion with your mother, it was a wonderful reunion. But then you start to see how your mother and Pike have some different views than what Monty has. Tell us about going through that mindset.
Well, it's very difficult because, I mean, for a very long chunk of time, Monty didn't even know his mother had survived. And now she's suddenly back in his life, and I think they had a very loving relationship in New York. So now to be torn between his new friends who have gone through so much down on the ground and the woman who raised them, it's obviously not as black and white a situation as he would hope it to be. And he's got some hard decisions coming up, whether to side with his mother or to side with people that he's come to love.
What are you excited for fans to see in the next few episodes?
How can I say this without spoiling anything? Well, clearly Monty's on the rocks in terms of his mother. He's on the rocks in terms of Jasper. But his two biggest relationships might be out of his life forever if he doesn't play his cards right. So how does he handle that kind of pressure? Can he handle it? And who has to die in the process in order for it to happen?
How safe is everyone in the cast? How safe?
Well, I think that's what it is. I mean, is anyone going to die? I think that's the question everyone's always asking, and no one's safe. I think that's especially, as we've learned from the Lexa death, which is the most recent, and I definitely don't feel safe whenever the script comes in. Always cut to the end a little bit and see how those acts, how each act break ends. But yeah, I never feel safe on the show.
Monty and Jasper are currently kind of on two different storylines. Jasper's in the AI and Monty's dealing with Pike. Are we going to see them come together in the near future? Or?
I'm actually surprised that Monty hasn't had more to do with the AI. You think that he and Raven would both be the two best minds on the ground who try to work together to figure something out. I think inevitably, unless Raven's got this thing, if her and Jasper have it down, then cool. But I feel like inevitably, whether he wants to or not, he will have to confront the City of Light and confront Jasper. If he lets go of Jasper, then he's got no one. He really has no one left that he really cares about. And so I don't think he's ready to let go of that yet.
So moving from season 1 up till now, I think Monty's had a very big change as far as his development goes. What do you kind of hope to see for Monty in the future, as far as interacting with characters that he might not have recently, or just anything?
Give me the question one more time.
What do you see for him in the future? What do you want to see for Monty in season 4, let's say?
I think he's gotten really good at developing his own sense of agency and urgency. What does he want versus being so selfless all the time, being a little bit selfish and asking what he wants and how he can get it. So I think he's just learning how to navigate that part of his life. Also, there's been a lot of talk about romantic interests. I think it would be nice for Monty to both have his heart wooed and then have it smashed, because that's much more important to me to develop. Then you're always in honeymoon phase, la la land. It's nice to get a hard dose of reality and realize relationships don't always work. And what do you have to do? What do you have to sacrifice to make those things work?
We know you finished filming this season now, but what went through your mind the first time you read the script for the finale?
The pilot?
No, finale.
Ooh, how can I say this I was shocked. It's not really so much the reading of it. I was tipped off to certain things that would happen in the finale before reading it, so I was a little prepped. And they were devastating. And not just for my character, just all around. I remember I was about to go to dinner, and I got a couple phone calls and felt sick to my stomach and couldn't eat dinner. Ooh. So that's what's coming up. That's the most elusive way that I can answer that question. But that's the honest answer.
Is it a game changer, do you think?
Oh yeah, I think it has to be, right? Why else would we have another season if we're not changing something up?
Out of all the ones that came down in the arc, all the children, all the teenagers.
Okay. Oh, well, thank
you. Monty seems the one that's the most level-headed and doesn't act on emotion. Do we see Monty's character one day getting into the political role of leadership?
Oh. Yeah, he'd be a good candidate, huh? I think he doesn't, like you said, maybe that's why, and that actually helps me articulate it. He hasn't gotten involved because he hasn't had the emotional stakes and the trials and tribulations that other people have had. But that's changing rapidly as we're seeing. So right now, I'd say he'd be good for office, but maybe not by the end of the season.
What do you love the most about this character?
I think, yeah, he seems to be the moral compass of the show. It is nice being the moral compass, but at the same time, you never want to be too good. It's not very human, and like Jason said in the panel, it's much more interesting to play difficult things and to, yeah, how dark can life get, and how do you overcome it or not? That's what I want.
Thank you.
I think we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.